Hey, what is up guys? So with Avengers Infinity War gearing up to start production at the end of the year, one of the most vocal people in regards to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which of course would be James Gunn, of course likes to go out there and really just talk to the fans and, really tell people some of the stuff that's happening out there, and you really don't see many directors do this. Now the reason I'm bringing this up is because of course he is directing Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and of course we have heard him multiple times say that he went out and tried to get info on this or that character and the rights are here or there, and and it's kind of a little bit difficult, and then they come back to him and tell him what he can and can't use, and he likes to voice his opinion specifically on Facebook. Now, here is what he recently said, and when, referring to some of this, he doesn't go into details, but he did confirm that the Skrulls, which of course are the shape-shifting alien species, are both co-owned by Marvel Studios and Disney, and Fox, which of course owns the X-Men and the Fantastic Four rights. Now, just a quick backstory, a quick recap. Essentially, the Skrulls made their biggest appearance in the late 2000s when it was revealed that certain members of the Avengers and a long-time members of just the Marvel family were actually infiltrated by a bunch of aliens. This was discovered and was a huge event, and it would go on to, put a ripple effect through every friendship that was possible, because you didn't know who could have been one of these Skrulls, who did they adapt first and all that. And it was pretty cool, honestly. I really enjoyed it. Now, there are a lot of people that don't like the Skrulls, so I could see why maybe neither studio wants to use them, or it could be a little bit more difficult. Now, he also did go on to say that certain Skrulls are only usable by certain studios, and I would assume that someone like the Super Skrull would of course go over to the Fox side of things, and of course the Super Skrull has a huge tie to the Fantastic Four, so you can see why he would be exclusive to that. It's sort of like the Quicksilver Scarlet Witch, that they can appear in both. And the reason I'm mainly making this is it's kind of interesting that he would go out here and state this, and what would be the purpose of doing this? I mean, when you really think about it, did he go out there and then he dropped that he wanted Skrulls in there? Were they trying to do something to see how the rights, would go either way, and what is up with them? Now, a common misconception that people have is that Thanos is in fact a Skrull, which he is not. I don't want people to believe that. Just because his chin kind of similarly resembles them, that doesn't mean anything. Now, going on further into that, are some, form of the Skrull going to appear in the MCU? I mean, you look at the Chitauri, which appeared in the Avengers. Well, the Chitauri in the comics were the Ultimates version of, the Skrulls, which is kind of a little bit confusing if you're coming out to the outside of this, but that's what they essentially were. So are they trying to, groom them for that? And what exactly are they trying to do here? Or are they in some way, shape, or form trying to say, hey, here's a little hint, are people interested in the Skrull and they're waiting to see how we're going to react as the fans, and then if people are all up for it, then maybe they might be doing it. And another thing I do want to bring up is it could just be, let's say, a quick mention. And this is probably the one that I could see the most happening. We know that the Kree are obviously going to play a part down the line in the whole MCU. I mean, obviously you have Captain Marvel, her powers, or his powers if they go with Captain Marvel first. We don't know how they're going to do it. And you got, you got all the galaxy out there. You can mention the Skrull and Kree war that has happened. That happened in the comics, and that was a thing that they referenced back to. You could just make a mention that that did happen. You never have to show the Skrulls, but you're mentioning that they do exist out there, so that us, the fans, would know what is happening. And I think, honestly, that would be pretty cool. Now, I don't think, they're going to just throw away the Skrulls in some sort of mini cameo or something. I think it would be way bigger. So maybe, phase 4 or 5 when they get down that far. But we'll see when we get to that. You guys let me know your thoughts on this down below. And are you guys interested in seeing the Skrulls make an appearance in the MCU?